In this video, I'm going to give you the 8 best dropshipping items to list for the first 90 days in 2022. So if you are either currently dropshipping or you're thinking about starting a dropshipping business, now you won't have to try to guess and figure out what items you should list. Just take these 8 exact items you are going to get in this video and list them in your store. So to give you a quick 30-second thing before I give you the actual items, it's important to understand why we're choosing these items. And one of the things we're looking at is what things are coming up, what things are either happening this month or coming up in the next few months. So for example, one of the things I was teaching my students in around the November, October time was to start listing Halloween items. Why? Because Halloween is October 31st, if memory serves me right. And I had some of my students that were listing items for Halloween, and they were making great money because people like to do Halloween show. You know, people spend money on Halloween. It's something people spend money on. And what's nice about Halloween is it doesn't matter if people are on a budget or not. You know, almost everyone is going to spend some money on Halloween. Now, sure, it's a little bit relative, but people are generally going to dress up, have some decorations, give out some candy, have some Halloween bowls. And I had some students that were doing great, you know, listing Halloween items around that time. During the summertime, I had some students that were crushing it, and then during the wintertime, they started struggling. And I looked at some of the listings they were listing, and they were continuing to list summer items. So they were listing like stuff for the outside and, you know, like hammocks and chairs to go sunbathing on. And those were selling good like in July and August, but they were still listing those items in like November, December, and there's not too many people that are sunbathing in November or December. So we want to be kind of aware of that. And what are we looking for is we're looking for holidays that are coming up, events that are coming up, seasons that are coming up, and what people do in those seasons. And I just wanted to share that framework with you so you could use that to find good products, of course, not for just these first 90 days, but also for, you know, any time in the future. So with that said, let's talk about the eight best items to list for the first 90 days in 2022. So we have to understand it's still winter. So in the beginning, especially for the first month, 2-ish, it depends where you live, but it's still cold. So people are still buying winter items. Snowblowers are good to list. Sleds are good to list. Scarves are good to list, and beanies. Generally, I don't like listing clothes because the size could be wrong. There's a higher chance of returning it. But certain clothes items like beanies, people generally aren't going to return. I mean, they might return it a little bit, but generally, like if you list like kind of one of those beanies that stretches, that's very stretchy, it's going to fit someone's head that's small, big, wide, large, you know, whatever. Scarves, I like scarves as well because it's still a winter item. It's very popular. And again, you're generally not going to return a scarf, right? It's going to fit if you got a small neck, a big neck, a wide neck, a medium neck. It's going to fit everyone's neck. You know, kind of jackets and things like that, I generally would avoid listing because there's a higher chance you're going to get a lot of returns on that. So those are still good items to list. Now, as we progress to the 30-day, you know, the 30-day mark, and then the 60-day mark, and then the 90-day mark, what type of things are happening in the first few months of 2022? Well, the weather is going to start to get warmer. And one of the things people like to do when the weather gets warmer, my mom, she used to love during the spring to plant flowers. She used to love gardening. So we want to think, what type of items could we list around this kind of niche in this type of category? Now, like a lot of people will buy kind of gloves, right? And I don't recommend gloves for the same reason that it's like it's a clothing, you know, it's too many returns. But another good thing that people will buy is flower vases. Flower vases and plant vases for the outside. People will be planting in their garden, but they'll also be vases that people want to buy to put flowers in or different bushes. So those can be great. Bicycles are good too. As it starts to warm up a little bit, people are going to start to be thinking about exercising. They're probably not going to be swimming in their pool in March, but they're okay. It's getting a little bit warmer, And people will be bicycle riding, especially because it's not too inconvenient to have a couple layers on while you bicycle ride. Bicycles are great. The other thing is we have to understand that, you ever heard that saying, April showers bring May flowers? What do May flowers bring? April showers. Now that's January, February, March, April. So I know that's month 4. But we can prepare for it by listing things like umbrellas, universal, pretty much an impulse item to buy, and great items to list for the rain that that a lot of people experience around that time. And the other thing, the final item, so item number 8, is storage boxes. Why specifically storage boxes? Well, have you ever heard of spring cleaning? A lot of people around the springtime, they start to a lot of people, they kind of clean, they scrub their house, they throw out a bunch of stuff. And as they're throwing out stuff, they're also organizing a bunch of stuff. And, they have a bunch of stuff they don't want to throw away, but they want to organize it. So having storage boxes, listing a lot of storage boxes can be a great thing to focus on over the next few months as well. So that's what I got for you guys. My name is Aaron Goldstein. Those are the 8 best dropshipping items to list for the first 90 days in 2022. Hopefully you got some value, and if you did, go ahead, feel free to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you on the next video.